Hey everybody, it's me, Ghostly K, and today is a ginormous compilation video that took me hours to make, which is why it took so long. And so the first scene that we're going to be doing is going to come, but first I want to tell you an important message. God and Jesus love everyone, including you, so much that Jesus died on the cross to save his people from their sins on Good Friday and rose again on Easter Sunday. And even though this video has nothing to do with Minecraft, I want to give a message to Narfi because, I am glad that he supports God and Jesus and that he already knows of God and Jesus' love. And also, please read the verses John 3:16, Nehemiah 8:10, Matthew 6:33, Matthew 1:21, Isaiah 7:14, and any other verses God and Jesus lead you to. And please know that God and Jesus never want anything bad to happen to you, and if plans don't go as you think they're going to go, that God and Jesus don't want that for you, and that God and Jesus have amazing too good for words plans for your life and will give you everything you need, and you will be really happy. If you follow God and Jesus, good things will come. Okay, now on to the first scene. I sound like a narrator. This is something I've been pointing out. I sound like a narrator whenever I'm doing these. On to the next scene. First scene, wait.
Indefinitely.
Wait a minute. So he goes through an emotional experience and you just lock him up like that? Why would you do that? And not only that, but he's a living creature. He's a living person and you just lock him up like he's a tool you don't need? You use him for his power and then you just get rid of him? Why? Why on earth would you...
Wait a second. If Shadow's been on ice for 50 years, someone had to help him escape.
True, but there's only a few people in the world who even know of Shadow's existence.
Oh no, not again!
But Robotnik is supposed to be dead.
Why don't you just leave us alone? Okay, so first off, for this scene, I wanted to show sort of some powers that I have. They're very similar to Sonic's powers, and I can also fly, but I can't actually... I can fly, but I don't know how. And over the time of being on the movies, you would see me learn how. So this scene is basically showing that I am a very emotional person. So if I was in this scene, that's sort of how I would react. And earlier on, if you haven't seen the previous videos, I caused a power outage similar to what Sonic did on the first movie, and I was scared of it happening again. And it also gets explained probably at some point. I don't know if it would be explained on Sonic Free because there was a lot of time that, it was very rushed. I liked it, and God and Jesus are still using the movies, and I'm really happy about that. But it was rushed, and I had to think of a lot of ways that I could fit me, my mom, and my sister onto these movies. So, this scene is basically how we would be on this scene. You also see that it's very hard for me to control my emotions sometimes, so it would be very hard for me to control these powers. So it would be frequent, but not so frequent that it's annoying, if that makes any sense. And it basically shows our personalities, like the way that Silly Girl shows her powers and like force fields me and Mom immediately when danger comes. She's very good. She's very good. I don't know what I'm talking about. I do, but I don't. Anyway, so that was the first scene. And gotta Jesus love you, everyone, and always, always will. On to the next one. Weird noise for no reason. So, this scene is obviously not a Sonic free scene. Most of these scenes are not going to be Sonic free scenes. The one you just saw before this one is going to be the only Sonic free scene on this video, I'm pretty sure. If you want to see more of how me and my sister and Mom would be on the Sonic free movie, let me know in the comments, and it's gotta Jesus' decision. So, this scene is how I think Blaze and Silver could meet. Before making this scene, and before using the characters, I wanted to know the characters a lot more than I did. In fact, these movies have got me more into the Sonic games than I was before, which is very strange, but also very sort of what they were going for, but at the same time, I don't know. God and Jesus have reasons for everything. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, that's what I say about everything. Anyway, so at the start of the scene, you see that Silver is helping some people get to safety. I wanted to sort of show that he helps people and tries to help people. Then you see Blaze for her first appearance, and whenever I imagine this scene, in theaters. Whenever I imagine some of the scenes I made in theaters, I just imagine the people screaming, because I went to a fan event of Sonic 3. It was loud. It was great, but it was loud. Anyway, but I am loud also, if you cannot tell by my loudness. Anyway, so how the scene works is that Blaze just, or very recently, lost the Soul Emerald. So immediately when she sees Silver, she assumes or interrogates him. Then she sees that it's obviously not him who stole the Soul Emeralds. So she decides to walk away until this giant metal beast,
made by my mom, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
Silver grabs Blaze's hand before she can even say anything and floats and uses his telekinesis.
Then it gets explained that the metal monsters just started showing up not too long ago, and that the future was like this before they even did show up.
And then after defeating the monster, you get this cliffhanger of who was talking to them. So I went for something that people will probably expect, well, not expect, but you'll see if you comment. A lot of these are gonna be cliffhangery, so just saying that. I also talk a lot, as you can see, but God and Jesus made everyone the way they are for a reason, including me, so it's a good thing. Anyway, on to the next scene. Don't know why I said it that way.
Você é capaz de mais do que imagina. Ei, acredite em si mesmo.
Okay, so this one is the 2 introductions, as you could see, of the text sort of splitting it up. My 2 ideas for how it would be introduced on Sonic 3 and if I was on Sonic 5. Sonic 3's idea was basically the original idea I had, except tweaked, because I was originally going for the scene that I saw on the trailer of Tails and Sonic flying the airplane up to the giant tornado thing that I didn't know what it was. So I was originally going for that scene, and I wanted to try and fly up to it even though I couldn't, believing God and Jesus could get me there if God and Jesus wanted to, and also knowing that God and Jesus would help Silly Girl to help me. And so I flew up there, and I grabbed on to the plane and then introduced myself. But I had to rework it when Sonic Free came out, so I made it the copter scene. Before they go through the ring to Japan, the copter, and fly up and introduce myself. There's more to that scene than just that. But I also originally now cut out the scene where I'm trying to find him because Sonic Free had very little time. But for Sonic 5, that scene stays. The song stays. So I changed it up, and my mom actually gave me an idea on how to change it up because I didn't think there was going to be another plane or copter scene on Sonic 5, and I was thinking of how on earth I could run into him, how on earth it could work, and I had ideas of just knocking on the door, but that didn't really work out. So she gave me the idea of him finding me instead. And I reworked it so that the reason he did was he saw the quill that I lost on the night of the stage whole turning out the lights fiasco. Silly Girl gave it back to me, but I put it in my pocket and it fell out while I was searching. He finds it, teleports over, and that's how that works. And God and Jesus use a lot of good things, and God and Jesus gave me all these ideas. God and Jesus helped all these ideas and gave me the motivation to make this video. And I'm really hoping you all enjoy it because this literally took hours, including animating this part you see right here. This took hours. So I hope you enjoy all these, and on to the next scene. Don't know why I said it that way, and then we'll see what happens next.
Escape! Wake up, escape!
So this scene is how I imagine the Sonic 4 post-credit or end credit. I imagine that Silver will go through the ring or the portal using the time stones.
Then you see a sort of hint by him saying, "Hey, wait up," that someone did come with him, aka Blaze.
And you see a clip and then gone. Then, at the very end credit scene, sort of like how Shadow was at the one of Sonic Free, you would just hear Silly Girl's voice trying to get me up in the morning. and then see my eyes. And that's it. That's the scenes I came up with for the post-credit scene. And now here is who I think should voice Silver and Blaze. And then I'm going to tell you some more stuff about my ideas for Sonic 5. So I hope you enjoy this. And God and Jesus gave me all the ideas. I said that already, but it's good to say. Yay!
Hey, I did it!
How did you build that?
Haha, very funny.
You should go back.
I am sorry. Then why would you even need me?
This blind optimism that you have is why you make such bold and courageous choices that are also extremely stupid. You can envision a better future that no one else can see.
I'm just glad you were safe, and you don't know how sorry I am.
Where did you get this?
Cool.
So, first off, let me explain why I want Scarlett Johansson to play Blaze. A lot of people really want her to play Rouge, and there was some sort of rumor about her maybe playing Amy, which honestly doesn't make much sense, but anyway. I feel like she would like the role of Blaze more than either of those two roles. Blaze has more to her than Rouge does, and Amy doesn't really make sense for her to play, so I feel like she would do great as the role of Blaze. And that whole entire talk scene with her as a little one talking to the other robot dude can basically be reworded only by the names and some of the actions to be a talk between Blaze and Silver, which is why I used that scene. And my explanation for why I think Josh Brenner can play Silver is because I feel like he has the sort of element of playing Silver. He was in a future movie which was Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which had to do with the future. And also the character he played on this one series that I randomly found, which I never really have watched, but watched some clips of, which is Miku in this random Star Wars series, actually mainly somewhat fit Silver's personality, except for, like, saying things outward and not really knowing that it doesn't mean that or something like that. Now, here's some other things and ideas I have for Sonic 5. I kind of feel like... So, my main idea for Sonic 5 is that it would be based on both Sonic 06 and Sonic Rush, which means that Blaze would be able to keep her original storyline, and Silver would also have his storyline. And instead of Cream helping Blaze to open up in Sonic Rush, Silver would help her to do it throughout the movie instead. And the villains, well, you're just gonna have to see. And then, ideas I have a lot of ideas for Sonic 5. I have the entire movie in my head. I basically wrote it, but the main idea I have is that it would be 3 different stories, like Sonic 06 was. Silver's story, Shadow's story, and Sonic's story all playing and like shows different scenes of each of them throughout the movie. And then my storyline would basically be Sonic's storyline, or it would become part of it. Instead of Princess Elise, there would be me, my mom, and my sister all going on a journey to try and stay on Earth, aka that's what I'm trying to do, but also to help them figure out what the mysterious robots were. And the scene that I made for the cave scene, I was thinking that there would be a sort of argument before it, which would lead me to run off, and Amy would go after me because she is probably the most sentimental of the group. So she would try and help me to calm down, and honestly, I feel like my mom would too, but maybe I would add her in the scene, I don't know. And then Silver would see a light in the same cave, think it was Sonic, and go in that direction too. Then Blaze would follow after him, mainly because she wonders if it is too, or because she's just telling him to stop, then we'd all get trapped in the cave and the whole scenario would play out like it did in the scene. My idea for who would make the song for Sonic 5, the post-credit song, is Owl City. I feel like a lot of people have suggested him to make a song for the Sonic movies, but I feel like him making a song for Sonic Movie 5 with Silver introduced makes a lot of sense. Silver's theme sounds a lot like an Owl City song, except slightly different. And I feel like Owl City could technically rewrite that song, but I feel like Owl City could make a different song. I also like the fact that he is a Christian, and a lot of people on the Sonic movies are Christians, which is how God and Jesus are using it behind the scenes, and eventually will be more prominent on the movies, especially if I actually did get on the movies, which is sort of what I'm trying to do with this video. And if any of you like these ideas or want to share them, then you can, but please credit me. And also, here are some designs that I've seen people make. None of these are mine. None of these were drawn by me. I cannot draw. This is why I use Gotcha. But these are some designs I feel like will be similar to the ones that God and Jesus want to use on the movies. And also, I have ideas for who's going to play other people and stuff, which is why I'm also going to be making a part 2 compilation video. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and know that God and Jesus love you and always, always will and have. Whether you know God and Jesus are with you or not, they are. Either if you're a believer or not, God and Jesus are always, always with you and have always, always been. And any bad situations you've been in, if you don't get a job you want or something, it's probably God and Jesus trying to keep you away from something bad happening. But if something really bad happens, God and Jesus tried to stop it, but sometimes people don't listen to God and Jesus, which creates most of the bad things that happen. And if you want to know any more about God and Jesus, you can comment below some questions, or you could, search it up on your own, or go wherever God and Jesus lead you. Whatever God and Jesus lead you to do, you should do. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you enjoyed the scenes that God and Jesus gave me. Next video will have mostly who would play who, but also some more ideas for the other movies. I'm going to probably make these in a lineup, sort of like scenes I have ideas for Sonic 6, then the next compilation will be Sonic 7, then the next compilation will be Sonic 8, so on and so forth. I have a bunch of ideas for those that God and Jesus have gave me, and hopefully people will see these videos, mainly because I want everyone to hear how much God and Jesus love you, which is why I include God and Jesus messages in every single one of these videos. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Enjoy the intro music. Woo! Yeah, I don't know.